Throughout Africa, Maya Angelou utilizes personification and other figurative language to portray the themes of beauty being destructed and reviving, and subsequently portrays the history of a period of hardship a continent endures. Angelou never speaks about Africa as a continent, but the entire poem describes a woman who is a mother, indicating that Africa has been personified as the mother country. In addition, it is seen that a metonymy is used in order to represent the people that were living in Africa. Ultimately, Angelou is describing the events that the people of Africa endured through her extensive writing. Angelou initially creates a theme of beauty in the first stanza. In this stanza, she begins to personify the country Africa as a woman. This is seen through her diction, referring to the country as her repetitively. The country is personified as a female because the common term for a country is a mother country. In addition to personifying, Angelou uses many metaphors to describe the beauty of the country, and thus creates the theme of beauty. The first metaphor compares the woman to sugarcane in terms of the sweetness. The next metaphor compares the woman's hair to deserts because Africans' hair is normally black and coarse, as deserts are not smooth, so this metaphor is to further personify. Similarly, the next metaphor compares the woman's breast to mountains. This metaphor is to personify further, but also to depict the setting of the poem and describe the country, because Africa has several high mountain ranges in addition to the flat abyss found in the deserts. The contrasting descriptions here add to the different scenes of the country, and to the different personalities of the woman being described, adding to the usage of personification. The next stanza begins to shift towards a theme of destruction. The theme begins to shift with the last sentence of the first stanza, through the use of the word black. Black is a symbolism of death and decay, and thus leads into the theme change. The theme of destruction is developed through diction first. The words white and cold are used, which symbolize death. The words ungentle, icicle, bold are also used to describe the hard times the country began to endure. It is made clear that people from other countries, such as Europeans or Americans, were the cause of the destruction and suffering the Africans were enduring because Angelou says they came overseas. The poem continues to explain the actual destruction then by making an appeal to pathos via describing the pain felt when the families were separated, specifically the daughters and sons being taken and sold. This further personifies the woman being described as Africa by building upon the idea of the mother country. Along with personification, as the destruction of family is conveyed, so is the destruction of the country, and thus the metonymy woven throughout the poem is developed further because as the country suffers as a whole, the people who live there are the ones also suffering. Furthermore, Angelou describes the way the intruders attempted to change the culture and ways of the Africans when she says they tried to church them. She then makes a statement regarding the violence that occurred and all the blood that was shed as a result of the violence. This is dramatic, but also causes an awareness of the severe ways the intruders attempted to change the Africans, take total control of them, and as a result destroy them and the country. Angelou concludes her poem by moving into yet another theme, but this time a theme of rebirth. The third stanza brings forth several times the pain that occurred and uses descriptive language to exemplify the pain. This repetition in the stanza draws attention to the remembrance of the pain, indicating as a country the people should not forget the history they suffered and endured. Rather, they should remember these tragic events and use them as motivation to propel forward in the future and build a stronger country. This point is further emphasized by the words history slang. The word slang can be used as a hyperbole here and used to draw attention to the severity of the event. Also, it could be used in a very literal sense and draw forth the issue of the many people who were slain in the past because of their heritage and ethnicity. At the beginning of the stanza, a hopeful word is used, followed by several lines of remembering the past and then another hopeful word. This falling back to the pain structure represents the fact that growing stronger and rising will not be an easy task, but will come in time. Personification is further developed through the whole stanza, as every scream, feeling of pain, and riches discussed belongs to her, as in the woman who is personified as Africa, which is a metonymy for the people of Africa. In addition, the poem, the line, thus she had lain, thus she has lain, is used repetitively. The repetition of these lines brings attention to her laying, which is personifying the woman as defeated and tired, indicating the country and people were beaten and tired. The poem concludes with the version of the line utilizing had, as the indication that laying was a thing of the past, and the country is moving on from that part in history. Angelou's poem is short but nonetheless complex. She creates the visual of a woman who is personified to represent the continent Africa, which in turn is a metonymy for the people living in Africa. Therefore, everything that happens to the woman is a representation for what occurred to the people of Africa. Angelou uses a variety of figurative language, notably metonymy and personification. She also uses a rhyming scheme which makes her words flow and beautiful. All of her techniques allow her to create different themes in each of the 3 stanzas, which further add to the feel of what the lady and therefore the people were experiencing during a time of intrusion and most likely colonization from other countries. Through her words, she takes readers from the calm beauty of the country prior to intrusion, to the intrusion and pain and destruction that occurred, to the struggle to move on as a stronger nation and eventual rebirth.